Can't believe our troops are climbing the Shrouded Pass. I guess it's the only way to reach the Doom Crag. I wouldn't want to be up there.
This is a great discovery. 10 years. Shirella and I spent 10 years looking for the tomb of Baloth Bloodtusk. Now that we find it, she says it's not his. Baloth Bloodtusk was an orc hero, cruelly slain by Gaiden Shinji in a rigged duel, and buried in a tomb lost to time. Shirella swears this is Gaiden Shinji's tomb. Orc stone in orc lands, honoring the murderer of Hrothgar's greatest hero? Preposterous. I'll be grateful if you get through to Shirella. I already wrote Orsinium about our findings. Baloth Bloodtusk was the finest warrior to call Hrothgar home. Some say he was an avatar of Malakat. 30 years into the siege of Old Orsinium, Gaiden Shinji challenged Baloth Bloodtusk to determine its fate. According to legend, Baloth Bloodtusk's fury at the honor of men drove Shinji to defeat. But the story is told in every orc stronghold. No matter the variation, Baloth Bloodtusk always ends up betrayed in his duel with Gaiden Shinji. Denying the tomb of Baloth Bloodtusk to this king? The Orsinium Guard will have her slowed march to Friendship Gate. Baloth Bloodtusk was the final.
I saw you speak with Losrith. I know he's upset, but he's wrong about this tomb. The door to this tomb commemorates Gaiden Shinji's final duel. His image is identical to engravings from that period. There's no question it's him. He respected every opponent he challenged. That's reflected in the depiction of Baloth Bloodtusk, his final opponent. Yes, he's the orc opposite Shinji, which is why this can't be Baloth Bloodtusk's resting place. Though venerated by Hrothgar's orcs, Baloth was little more than an opportunist. We don't know. The door won't open, so it's all theory. But I'll stake my reputation on this being Gaiden Shinji's tomb. They hold Gaiden Shinji responsible for Old Orsinium's destruction. When they see this is actually Shinji's tomb, at best, Losrith will be banished for his find. The indentations by the door are for burial urns, no doubt some sort of key. There are catacombs nearby with similar stonework to this tomb, but they're crawling with winter. If you can find them in the catacombs, I'm certain the burial urns will...
I could use a break.
In addition to the king's letter, Lord Tristan wishes to convey his
Call
sincere
me
condolences.
savage as you would behind our backs.
I will not, sir. Treat all with honor until proven otherwise, as my Lord Tristan teaches.
Does your Lord Tristan think I'm above killing the messenger? Especially a message such as this.
I do not presume, sir. I deliver the message as my lord requests, and his condolences.
Well, presume yourself a bowl of stew before you run back to your lord. I'll not feed you to my cubs today.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Oracle, we must speak. Tomorrow the Savage Sons march to kill 10,000 Bretons. And before we arrive, King Golkar will crap out another statue of Malakath to line Orsinium's halls. What's a siege without garish celebration? The king can preach orc unity all he wants, but what he means is fealty. For us to bleed out in a dagger fight he started with the Bretons. Us join that losing battle? Not if he paid our weight in alien nose hash. Told him as much last month. It was. Until a few minutes ago. Another king, that Breton king, Joal, just sent me a letter. Told me my fool brother Rokog died to Breton forces at Orsinium. But then, he turned it into a job offer. Fight with me or the same will happen to you. Blah, blah, blah. You're too dumb to notice a subtle threat, so I'll throw it in your face. And now we march. King Joal wants to play at spilling blood. I'll carve him a river from here to Daggerfall. Oracle, you goat diddler. Get some food.
I would thank your master for the stew. It is quite delicious. I serve my Lord Tristan, as you serve Baloth Bloodtusk. But you don't exactly serve him, do you? Oracle, wasn't it? I've noticed. You insult one another, then laugh about it. The Savage Sons allow him to lead? Is that it? It's not the sort of honor I know, but I can see how he earned your respect. What? No! Mercedine's troops were to blame for... I cannot speak for Lord Tristan or my king, but for myself, this siege should have ended years ago. It pleases none but the crows. Because I serve a lord and obey his commands. Because my lord serves a king and obeys his commands. It is the way of things where I'm from. I've said too much. Thank you for the food. It is an unexpected kindness.
Baloth
Your
Bloodtusk
king
has
should
reinforced
call off the
Orsinium.
siege.
Our losses
Battle
to his
is
savage sons
just.
were... Shinji, Mercedine now commands us. The siege will not end.
Mercedine? The beast of the Reach is your general?
There's another way. Challenge Baloth to a duel. You could end the siege with a swing of your blade.
The orcs will never agree.
The orcs love Baloth more than their own king. He'll agree. His people have bled enough.
What would your king say? He appointed Mercedine.
King Zhual suggested this. He needs a victory and won't care who delivers it.
Then it shall be. The Order of Diagna will march to Orsinium. Tamal, come speak with me. Do you see how King Zhual forces my hand? If I refuse to challenge Baloth Bloodtusk, the Breton king will demand Lord Tristan do so in my place. My obedience, or my friend's life. This is what kings call leadership. No. I do not slight Lord Tristan. He leads the Knights of the Dragon. His honor and skill with a blade are without question. But Baloth Bloodtusk will see that, and use Tristan's honor against him. The orcs claim him a warrior without equal. Of more importance, so do his opponents. Cunning, quick, and patient. He bides his time, and then strikes. A style that adapts to his opponents. There are few left with skill to match my own, so the duel itself is an honor. After all, doesn't honor wear the face of your next opponent? Ha! You've spent too much time around me, Tamal.
It is a true honor to meet the Blade Master and his disciples. I hope to visit the arena one day. My lord promised me leave, as soon as the siege ends.
The Order of Diagna shall fight beside my Knights of the Dragon. Truly a good day. Wouldn't you agree? Tamal, was it? Am I saying that correctly? Wonderful. I expect we won't be at Orsinium for long. With the Blade Master set to duel Baloth Bloodtusk, we can end the siege before General Mercedine turns it into a bloodbath. The Orc King forced King Zhual's hand. By publicly praising the Orc raiders who struck across the Bulse River, King Golkar doomed his city in the mountain. A Daedric zealot, I'm afraid. Every fifth word is Malakath. And that's in his diplomatic entreaties. I hear he's far more tedious in person. A lot of spittle. She is an able commander. She leads the Winterborn, the most accomplished of King Zhual's mercenary bands hired from the Reach. At times, it seems General Mercedine is more devout in her worship of Malakath than the orcs themselves. Her mother Evandine used to lead the Winterborn. During a raid on an orc village, she showed restraint in merely decimating the populace. Mercedine grew livid when she arrived with reinforcements, challenged her mother on the spot. According to the tale, she said, harvesting a tenth of the weeds yields a hardier strain of weed. Best to burn the field so its soil can take another crop. Then she killed her mother, cut out her heart, and ate it. Only those of the Reach know the ways of the Reach. But when General Mercedine left the village, the Winterborn rode at her back. All the villagers were so full of arrows, they resembled pine cones. And Evandine's corpse decorated the altar to Malakath. Long ago, I was a mere squire dining in a tavern. In walked Gaiden Shinji with ragged clothes, a simple blade, and empty pockets. I had very little coin, but I knew he was starving. I offered to share my meal in return for a friendly duel. I had no idea it was the Blade Master himself. In those days, I sought to learn from anyone who knew how to wield a blade. He had a way about him, an inherent confidence in movement. I lost, repeatedly. Each time he calmly explained how he had defeated me, then urged me to try again. There was no shame in losing. He was that good. I absorbed every lesson as best I could, yet no duel lasted beyond 3 seconds. We ate and talked. He was... well, he's always been Shinji. Then he left. I never learned his name. Years later, Blade Master Gaiden Shinji spoke in support of my promotion. He said, "The best leader is a constant student." None were more surprised than I.
I said this is the tomb of Gaiden Shinji.
Lozrith, what is this nonsense?
Shirella speaks for herself. This is the tomb of Baloth Bloodtusk. There is no question.
Well, I have a question. Has your partner lost her damn mind?
None of this will matter once we open the tomb.
At which point, Shirella will be proven wrong.
That I can trust my partner to back my findings? Yes, Lozrith is correct.
Orsinium did not send me to mediate a family quarrel. Figure out whose tomb this is, or I'll have the army drive you out. I'm here on behalf of the king. What are you...
Did you find the burial urns? Good. Better to open it with the king's advisor present. An official visit means he must record the tomb's contents, even if they have nothing to do with Baloth Bloodtusk. Connected? Well, yes, his duel with Gaiden Shinji, but that was their only connection. I don't understand. Perhaps Shinji defeated him as well. But we can reconcile this.
I knew this would happen. The king's advisor arrived sooner than expected. Orsinium isn't usually so. Then, by all means, open it up. She'll see Gaiden Shinji has... What do you mean? You... what? Did you see him murder Baloth Bloodtusk? Or conspire with King Zhual to besiege old Orsinium? That's not what I've read. It worked. Shirella, you were right.
Yes, Lozrith. I often am.
On a good day, perhaps. Let's continue this inside.
Losrith, do you see this?
These monuments, millennia old, Redguard and Orc stonework, side by side.
Not just that. Order of Diagna and Savage Sons intermingled.
Orc stonework never presents enemies in equal standing.
It seems an impossible thing.
Yet we see it before us. There must be more answers within. Don't believe it.
One is clearly Gaiden Shinji, but the other...
Bailoff Bloodtusk, memorialized in stone.
This is their tomb. Both of them?
They were mortal enemies. How can this be?
There must be a reason. We should look around, learn how this was possible.
Go on, then. Kill me. At least I took a few of you traitorous bastards down before the end. I saw them killing Knights of the Dragon. And you really don't know? Who are you? Lord Tristan? The one who devised the duel? It won't solve anything. The duel is a trap, but not because of your lord. General Mercedine plans to betray the Orcs, the Redguards, everyone but the Bretons. How well do you know your own king? Joal isn't fighting for peace or for his people. He's here to conquer. When Orsinium falls, Hammerfell remains. But Gaiden Shinji would lead the defense, so best to kill him off before then. Find them. Warn them if you can. The things General Mercedine did when I was her captive. Call me a coward, but I can't go back there. When you find Bailoth, tell him, your brother Rokog says you should eat ashes. He'll know I'm alive. To pull Shinji here, they needed Bailoth. My death drew my brother in. Mercedine is cannier than she seems. She is the instrument your king chose to enact his plan, and she takes much pleasure in it. She's a vicious woman who revels in blood and death. Says it's in Malakath's name. King Joal's assassins kill Savage Son and Diagnan alike. Look around. The proof of your king's treachery is before you. Mercedine received orders. They must have come from Joal. Find the orders for your proof. After you warned my brother. Just before the duel, Mercedine called for her personal forces, her Winterborn. They left and I escaped. Maybe they thought I didn't have the strength to run. Maybe they didn't care.
No duel shall
What
last
fool
longer
said
than
that?
it. Myself, how long have we fought?
8 minutes. What do you say on that?
I shall reconsider the proffer.
Archers, now!
No! General Mercedine! What have you done?
A duel for a city? Pathetic. King Joyli wanted victory, and today I deliver it.
Curse you, General Mercedes! To the depths of oblivion, I curse you!
Fool! If you bear them so much love, fall and die beside them.
General Mercedine killed them both. She dishonored their duel. Dishonored the truce. My wounds. I cannot face General Mercedine like this. You must confront her in my place.
Breton dog!
Fight!
I've simply chosen where you die!
Stay your hand, young orc. Too much blood was spilled this day. Enough heroes lost.
Agreed. The duel. Did you see it? Was there a victor?
I saw a willow and a grot oak dancing in the wind. I thought their styles vastly different. Until I realized...
Adhere to the style that defeats your opponent. People used to claim it was Shinji's proverb. Always made Baloth crack a smile. I swore I'd never thank a Breton. Not after what your king did to my home. But when I finally go to the Ashen Forge, I'll tell Malacath the tale of the dragon who slew the beast. That's all you...
It is done? The Beast of the Reach. Is she dead? Good. The Knights of the Dragon will have no part in King Zhual's treachery. Come, we must collect the bodies. They deserve a better rest than this. It was a mistake to involve the Order in King Zhual's folly. I must atone for that. First, I will honor Shinji's wishes. I won't leave him here for the crows. Gaiden Shinji wished to be buried in the land where he fell, no matter where that might be. Fitting. He never called one place home for long. He also wished to honor his final opponent, whoever that may be. You'd be surprised. They could not miss what Shinji and Baloth tried to do. If his brother does not object, I will see them buried side by side. Today shall be remembered as the day honor came to rest.
They called my brother the Wild Boar. No king ever tamed him, and he fought for his own reasons. But he fought here, for me, for all Orsinium. His sacrifice shouldn't be forgotten.
Did you? What happened? I thought I was someplace else for a moment. Someone else. A Breton knight? Whoever built this place, they wanted us to know the truth. Baloth Bloodtusk and Gaiden Shinji tried to end the siege to stop the killing. The only betrayal was King Joal's. It seems Shirella and I were both right. Patch things up with Shirella. We've worked together for years. I won't let this break us. But please don't tell her. It should really come from me. The king will know the truth. This is Baloth Bloodtusk's tomb, and altering any piece of it will mar his legend. The king won't dare touch Gaiden Shinji's remains, especially not once I write Sentinel with the news. Let the kings argue with each other if they must.
So Gaiden Shinji and Baloth Bloodtusk were pulled into a war neither wanted. They dueled to stop an endless siege. And they died betrayed by the plots of a Breton king? These are not the legends I was raised to believe. Every legend has some truth behind it. Perhaps this tomb will help us find the truth in Gaiden Shinji's legend. And Baloth Bloodtusk as well. He was different than I expected, but I suppose that's the point.
Shirella, I was wondering...
Yes? About what?
Now that we found Baloth Bloodtusk...
And Gaiden Shinji?
Of course, of course. Such a finding would take months to explore.
It could take years.
Years? Do you think? Yes, it could take years.
What are you saying, Losreth?
Could we, perhaps, well, that is, if you're interested, maybe...
Study this tomb together?
Yes, that is, if you're interested. Are you interested? You're not interested?
On one condition.
Yes? Name it.
Top listing in every journal.
But I thought we'd agreed on alphabetical.
Losreth, you still can't tell when I'm pulling your tusk?
Oh, so, we continue as we were?
Of course. You can't get rid of me that easily.
Oh, good. That's good.
Despite their blood spilled.
Orcs, Red God.
Remember, the last known
Can you imagine the chaos? Sometimes I don't know what the king is thinking.
Poor Zabani. Why will none believe that the Gola stole from the king, not her? Oh? What did you find? Do not keep Zabani's... This one knew you walked with Canarti's luck. Quickly, show them to Warden Orc. Zabani can already taste her freedom.
Keep away from the Khajiit. If I see you pass her anything, you'll end up in your own cell.
Oh? What information?
The king's lucky mug! Oh, pretend you didn't hear that. Well, I can't argue with evidence. I'll turn this over to the guard and release the prisoner. And, ignore what I said about the mug, all right? Here's a little something.
The bunny will head to the greedy gut. There, yes?
We didn't come for a circle business. We're just here to see Kurog.
I meant no offense, Chief Barzrag. I only seek to spread Trinamac's good words.
Again with these Trinimac lies. Let me show you what Malakat thinks of your stupid words.
Your anger is uncalled for, clan chiefs. Please excuse us, Solgra. I see our champion has returned.
They pulled you into their madness? How disappointing.
As you can see, the clan chiefs can be a contentious lot. They oppose King Kurog at every turn, especially on matters of faith. But tell me, was Kurog successful? Did you defeat the Winterborn warlord? I knew you'd be able to help Kurog in his mission. Perhaps now the other clans will see that Kurog is destined to lead us all. The king sent for them. They are a few of the more vocal opponents to my son's plans, and they refuse to bend their knees to him. They are blinded by centuries of custom and tradition. They refuse to see the glory that King Kurog wants to bestow upon us all. Instead, they stick their heads in the mud like a frightened Argonian and pretend that the old ways are so much better. My son wants to free us from the traditions that hold us back. They mire us in outdated notions and restrictions. We need to become a modern society if we want the other kingdoms to respect us, to take us seriously.
Excellent! The time has come! Swear allegiance to me! Orsinium will prosper once the clans unite under my rule.
This again, Kurog? Why should we submit to you this time?
Behold! I wield the Blade of Iceheart. With the help of outsiders, I have vanquished our greatest foe and retrieved the stolen supplies. The chiefs could not stop the Winterborn. Only I have accomplished that.
You ask much, Kurog. To turn away from Malakath. To abandon our most cherished customs.
Bazrog, my old friend. Your outdated ideas will be the death of me!
Don't tempt us, Kurog. Our traditions won't bend to the will of an idiot chief who decides to call himself
King! Idiot! Chief! I am your king! You would all do well to remember that! Now get out of my sight!
You embark on a dangerous path, Kurog. We won't forget this.
Treasonous bastards! I just saved their ungrateful arses, and this is the thanks I get? I even showed them Iceheart's sword! How can I create a united nation when the chiefs refuse to accept my rule? More often than not, yes. There's always some fool who wants to quote the Code of Malakath or insult my honor. It infuriates me! How come Targak? It was all I could do not to kill all three of those troll lovers. Let Bazrog and Dular think about what happened. I only hope they can set aside old traditions and accept the future I envision. Their support would make things much easier. For now, no. Go explore Rothgar and get to know this great city. Enjoy yourself. When you're ready for a new challenge, find me at my private tavern in the city. I'm sure I'll have something that requires your specific skill set by then.
I pray to Trinamac that the chiefs will learn from this experience, but I fear that they're stubborn.
No, if I jump from here, I'll probably just break my legs. Is there something I can do for you? You're right. And I don't see how talking to you is going to help. Sorry. I'm having a terrible day. My partner and I suppose you could kill me. Yes. One swift swing of your weapon, and then I won't have to worry about this anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Mostly. In my pocket, of course. That's why I think I was pickpocketed. I suppose you could... In my pocket...
I do not know you, yet you have...
You bear the vengeful eye. I knew, because as soon as I saw you, Malakath whispered that I should kill you where you stand. Clearly a sign.
Of course. Its curse of vengeance has waned. It can be freely given, and need not be won through battle. Shameful. A great service to Malakath. He shall not forget. He never forgets. And now his eye is upon you. Walk with Malakath's vengeance in your step. May your enemies crumble in your wake. The stories say it was given to Malakath's champions as a sign of his... I do not know...
What in oblivion are you doing here?
What? Who? I'm going to scream.
Excuse me. Remember me? From the Winterborn ambush? The caravan? Hey, I'm talking to you. Sorry for shouting at you. It must be this city. Makes me want to walk fast and speak loudly. Well, not me, exactly. I came to Hrothgar to elevate my status, and here I am running errands for the orcs. The king himself has requested your presence at his private tavern here. Perhaps you'll be so kind as to put in a good word about me with the king. I'd so enjoy an invitation to his corner club.
Narkagik, have you been drinking again?
Don't you tell me how to drink my life.
This is taking forever. Try the iceberry ale. It's delicious. I love this place. Back at the keep, I'm always being pulled in a dozen directions. Fighting over here, debating over there, gives me a headache. Took you long enough to show up. I could have you flogged for that. Ha ha ha! That look on your face! It's a good thing I like you, because the last person who asked me these sorts of questions had the curiosity beaten out of him. But I don't want to fight with you. That's not why I called you here. Are you ready to listen? You helped Chief Basra. You fought at my side as we defeated Iceheart and his Winterborn warriors. In short, you impress me. Let me speak plainly. You could pose a threat to me, but I prefer to consider you an ally. Share a few drinks, like we're doing now. Clan chief problems. There are still stubborn chiefs out there who don't agree with my vision. You made an impression on Basrog. Whether he likes it or not, he owes you for helping the clans. The other chiefs respect Basrog. We can use this whole situation to our advantage. Get them to listen to matters they would normally refuse to hear. For now, nothing. Relax, have a drink. Enjoy all the pleasantries that Roxanne and her fine establishment have to offer. But when I need you... Damn it! You two always show up and ruin my fun.
Oh, I have not even begun to ruin your fun, my king. But let's leave the pleasantries for later. We have an urgent situation to report.
I can never tell when you're joking. Fine. What's so important?
The Trinimac Temple has been attacked, my beloved. Malakath devotees have barricaded the doors and taken the priests as hostages.
These fanatics dare to attack my city? My people? I'll deal with them personally.
You will do no such thing, my son. After what happened in the throne room, this is undoubtedly a trap.
I won't sit by while they attack my city!
This problem requires a personal solution, and I have a perfect idea. Outsider, let us talk. My son's bravery borders on stupidity. He would run off and stumble blindly into their trap without the slightest regard for his safety. We must not allow that to happen. Oh, child, I always have a better idea. My son's rage makes it difficult for him to see clearly. His instinct is to charge every problem straight on and beat it into submission. His enemies know this, and often use it against him. Basrog and the other clan chiefs know King Kurog all too well. They expect him to attack and kill the heretics, just as the heretics will kill the hostages. Innocent lives will be lost, and blame will fall squarely on Kurog's shoulders. You are an outsider with connections to Orsinium that are tenuous at best. Enter the temple and rescue our people. If you succeed, you save innocent lives at the king's request. If you fail, well, at least the king won't be blamed.
It pains me to admit it, but Mother is right.
Everyone, clear the streets and go home. Let the king's soldiers deal with this. Back away, citizen. We have enough to deal with as it is. Just because you carry a weapon doesn't mean you know how to use it. And as you can see, I already have more amateur warriors volunteering to help than I can handle. Right, and I'm High King Emmerich's long-lost brother. Very well, I'll check with the Forge Mother. But if you've lied to me, I'll hunt you down, toss you in a cell, and throw away the king.
The king sent you here to rescue the hostages, didn't he? Of course he did. That's why they recruited heroes after all, am I right? See those hawkers behind me? Don't look. Anyway, they've been acting suspiciously. Standing around, making shifty eyes, showing odd hand gestures to pass. You never read Investigator Vale? The book's about the brilliant scholar who travels the world and solves crimes? She doesn't use magic or weapons. Just her charm. Isn't it obvious? Look at their evil demeanor, their villainous whispering. I bet if we rattle them, they'll run off and lead us right to the hostages. Watch. I'll just let loose an arrow. That should put the fear of Ifray into the survivor. Really? I mean, yes! I knew I liked you for a reason. On my mark. Stop, you! Thief! And there goes the other one! Get him!
Hey, I was walking here.
Run into me again and I'll knock your teeth out.
Watch where you're going, you idiot.
I have a good mind to throw a lightning bolt at you.
Defend the temple!
Trinimac, you're here. Someone has to save my fellow priests inside the temple. Please, I need your help. The priests inside the temple are at the mercy of these fanatics. Please, I think they want to kill my brothers and sisters in Trinimac. Malakath fanatics. They burst into the temple and began rounding up my fellow priests. They spat at us and shouted that we were betraying our race. They said that Chief Bazrag sent them to punish us for opposing the true God. They made such a commotion when they barged in. I spotted them from the upper balcony and slipped out the back door. I was about to go find help when more of those ruffians surrounded. They invoked the chief's name, saying he seeks revenge against the king and any who follow the false god. I see. I respect the king and all that he stands for, but his temper, it has gotten us into trouble more times than I care to remember. My fellow priests were still alive when I slipped out of the temple. But the tension in the air, they're holding the priests captive in the rectory. If one of the torchbearers spots you and reaches the rectory, you won't be able to save them. Avoid the torchbearers. Take this key. It will unlock the temple's rear entrance. May the luck of Trinimac be with you. I'll inform the guards and try to send more help your way.
Lock the priests in the rectory. As soon as Kurog arrives, we kill them all. How did you get in here? No master. You did it.
Chief Bazrog said to leave one of you alive to tell Kurog what happened here. The rest of you, time to die.
People have arrived! Kill them all!
There's trouble afoot.
I don't know how to thank you. These fanatics, they beat us, threatened us. They told us they were going to kill us as soon as the king or his soldiers showed up. But you got in without alerting them. You saved High Priestess Solgra and our brothers and sisters in Trinimac. The fanatics gathered us up and forced us in here. But Solgra, she isn't one to put up with such nonsense. She put a blade into one of them and ran into the back to help the others. I have the key. I'll open the door for you. Find the others, please. I don't know what... Solgra and the others should be somewhere through this door.
This is bad.
I'll find a way to open the main temple doors and let the soldiers in. Good luck.
Get her! Don't let her escape!
I'll die before I let you hurt the others.
Orders be damned! You're going to die for that,
One?
priestess!
I plan to kill a dozen more if you don't leave my temple now. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine once I catch my breath. Just got the wind knocked out of me a little, that's all. Not exactly. They claimed to be devoted followers of Malakath, and said they were working for Chief Bazrag. They caught us by surprise, threatened us. Did you run into Ugus? How are he and the others faring? Well, that puts my mind at ease. I hated leaving them, but the others back here needed help too. But I'm still not completely certain what the attackers hoped to accomplish. Spill the blood of innocents and blame the king for their deaths, for not being able to protect his people. What a fiendish scheme. But the king sent you in his stead. Very astute on his part. That decision may have saved many lives. We were supposed to assume they were Malakath devotees, but they didn't seem particularly religious to me. Even I don't believe Malakath would sanction a slaughter such as this. I've always found the chief to be noble, but it doesn't take a lot to change a person. His forts ravaged, his traditions threatened. I can see how such things could lead to this. The king and the Forge Mother must be told what happened here.
This is the last of them! Let's finish these bastards off!
One of the priests finally managed to open the temple doors.
Your timely arrival was a blessing from Trinimac, outsider.
I'm glad to see you and the priest alive. I believe things may have played out very differently if you hadn't agreed to my plan. That is good news indeed. I will make sure that a military contingent protects this temple going forward. It will not be left undefended again. Increased patrols around the perimeter, soldiers assigned to guard the inside of the temple. The priests will not have to live in fear of another attack, not so long as my son is king. I assume you know who claimed responsibility for this? Bazrag has never agreed with Kurog. He made threats in the throne room, as I'm sure you heard. Besides, his boldness and devotion to Malakath are legendary. It My son needs to solidify his hold on the clans. All of the chiefs must accept Kurog as their king for the betterment of the Awesomer people. You have done much already. Many lives were in danger, yet somehow you managed to make sure none were lost. Please take this, for being so careful with my people and keeping their safety in mind. We will find you again. Solbra, my child, come join us. Are you injured? Should I call
Thanks
a
to our
healer?
friend, I am well and ready to serve.
Yes, our call for assistance has already proven to be a more than worthwhile endeavor.
Thank you again for saving the temple.
There you are. Guess what? I have another message for you from the king. It's wonderful to see you again, my friend, but I have no idea. Although I did hear in the throne room, up at the keep. Hopefully he won't be in too foul of a mood when you get there. He seemed out of sorts when I told him this was the last message I was going to deliver. I think...
Who knows why chiefs do any of the things they do? Politics, I suppose.
Right. Blame it on politics. That's always your excuse.
The orcs smell, the Nords are rude, and the Bretons... God, no.
friend and ally has returned. Let's talk. I heard what you did at the temple. Your efforts no doubt saved countless lives. It pains me to learn that Chief Basrog was involved, though. Basrog's never agreed with my plans. He's a traditionalist, stubborn and old-fashioned to the end. His unwavering devotion to Malakath, his hatred of Trinimac, his refusal to recognize my authority. I'd say Chief Basrog is getting desperate. Basrog wants to start a war. Damn it all to oblivion, we'll have to stop him. It's time to assemble the Great Moot. I want you to visit the clan chiefs that still haven't come around to our way of thinking. You made an impression already, but don't worry. I'm not expecting them to come just because you asked nicely. The chiefs are stubborn, but they each have a problem that's confounding their clan. Now you get it. Help the chiefs, and they'll be obligated to accept your invitation. Tell them that you come to help in the name of King Kurog, that I'm hosting a gathering of clans, and I want the chiefs to attend. And it needs to be the clan's chief that comes to the moot. Do whatever it takes. The chiefs must attend the moot. I trust you won't fail me. When this is over, more? What more is there to say? They refuse my every overture and laugh at my authority. We need to convince them of the veracity of my grand vision. The stoneworkers? Tumnosh operates the Greystone Quarry, the primary source of building materials for Osinium. I'm not sure what Chief Ramash is up to, but he's fallen behind on his shipments. The Morkel clan is famous for its smiths. Some of the finest arms and armor has come out of their forges. I've been trying to get them to send experts to help us build the city, but Chief Abzug continues to hem and haw. One of the best clans as far as food production and livestock is concerned. Expert hunters and farmers, every one of them. Chief Ogzor promised to send herds of Icharters to help feed the city, but we haven't seen so much as a bushel of apples yet.
Just look at how our city progresses. And now that the Winterborn warlord... Major infrastructure work is nearing completion, and the return of the supplies stolen by...
should have been at my husband's side. He'd still be alive, and I'd still be his hunt wife. Well, look upon my husband and weep, for his next journey is to the Ashen Forge. Perhaps a new chief will deal with Kurog's latest nonsense.
Don't see many new faces at Chateau Range. Our only neighbors are surly giants. Speaking of which, Chief Ogzor had a nasty encounter with a giant dying. No amount of healing magic can fix smashed brains. Soon as he goes, Chatul is in for dark times. The clan will tear itself apart without a good contender for chief. I want to prevent that. We know which giant smashed the chief. I want to return the favor. That'll show the clan I'm a good contender, which would help keep the clan together. I have a few words to say to Chief Ogzor's mother. I'll meet you where Urkael the Cleaver's tracks begin. Don't know why we call him that. He carries a club. I don't really know. Most giants are surly enough. Urkael the Cleaver, we've come to learn, is a mean drunk. Once, he tore off an Ichater's crest and tossed it across the snow like he was skipping a stone. Heard they found it in Farin's stronghold. You're right. Only made it 100 paces before it slammed into a tree. Took half a day to saw that bloody crest out. We tried to reattach the thing, but the Ichater wanted nothing to do with it. Most of Chatul's warriors died in the first Winterborn raids. Without a good contender for chief, neighbor will fight neighbor for a title they can't hope to hold. We can't afford that, after losing so much to the raiders. Truth is, everyone's afraid. The chief kept this clan together for 2 decades. A strong contender will quiet their nerves. You want me to quote the Code of Malakath? Go on about vengeance and grudges? I've had my fill of that. Something I learned around all these Ichater. The ones who bray the loudest never lead the pack. Someone whose actions speak loudest. Someone like Chief Ogzor. Yes, I want to be chief. I spent 2 decades watching this clan prosper under his guidance. I'm not relaxed. I just wasn't willing to kill my best friend for his clan. Contenders for chief fight it out in the Bloody Knoll. It's our shrine to Malakath, up on the hill. He who emerges is chief. Simple as that. Well, of course, that's how it's always been. Never thought about it any other way. I suppose it's possible. Still, I wouldn't wish that on any woman. She'd face constant challenge. Whispers behind her back, bitter sulking, the petty disrespects you expect from children, but all from grown orcs who should know better. We travel where the Ichater travel. Can't say it'd be good if the chief was stuck here defending him, herself, I mean. I wouldn't want to put my clan through that, but that's me.
I should have been at my husband's side. He's...
This is a private matter.
You cut the forest and the forest cuts back. Bet those witches had something to do with all these nature problems.
All right, let's find Urkael the Cleaver.
Someday we'll build a prop.
Is that a track? No, I'm sorry. It's just a melted snow. Are we lost? It feels like we're lost. I'll just follow you. Should I be quiet? Don't want to disturb your tracking. I'll be quiet. Is that a track? Sorry. It's just some melted snow. Trophy.
I should have been at my husband's side.
Listen, we both know you're the one who avenged the chief. Happy I could land a few good smacks. I'll tell you Zara when she's back. You deserve... That's up to the clan. I'm only doing it because Shatul needs a chief. Can't say I enjoy staking a claim while my friend is dying in that tent. I'm not so sure I want to be chief again. Small clan. Our stronghold let Shatul camp there in the summers, in return for choicest pick of a chater. Chief Ogzor wanted to strengthen the bond by marrying away his daughter. Ashruka was to be my hunt wife, but that didn't happen. Ashruka refused to be traded like the choicest pick of a chater. She chose exile rather than marry me. A month later, raiders from the Reach wiped out my whole clan. Chief Ogzor took me in. Don't really know. Shatul tries not to talk about its exiles. Chief Ogzor forbade anyone from speaking of her. I think he blamed himself for pushing her away. After her mother died, Ashruka and her father were always at odds. It was inevitable. No, I've always respected how Ashruka held her ground, and I wasn't too keen on the match. I'd known her since she was a child, so going from Uncle Lorig to husband, We call that a Valenwood marriage. But don't let a wood orc hear you say it. Never. Chief Ogzor knew I'd consider that a dishonor, after what he'd done for me. And Shatul needed my muscle. It wasn't charity, if that's what you're thinking. It was my own fault. I was more full of pride than sense back then. Shatul warned us of reachmen they'd seen, prowling through the hills. I thought Chief Ogzor was trying to make up for a Shruka running off. Didn't pay it much mind. Then my clan was gone. Chief Ogzor's mother, Shatul's wise woman, though she hates it when we call her that. It falls to her to select the candidates for chief, and she's right over there.
You avenged my son. I will not forget what you did for Shatul today, nor will the clan. If you are willing, I have need of someone so capable. If Shatul is to survive, there must be a new chief. Larg is one contender. The other is Ulgesh. I want you to meet him. Ulgesh returned from Orsinium shortly after my son's injury. He declared himself a contender, but I'm not sure why. The boy never had brains or ambition. Serving in the Orsinium Guard was my son's suggestion. Shatul needs a chief who looks out for the clan before himself. We have no walls to hide behind, only our wits and our skill herding a Chater. If Ulgesh has neither, I need to know. I sent him after Scamper, our laziest at Chater. Ulgesh can explain the task. He's never been talkative, but see what you can learn as you aid each other. I want to speak with you when you return.
I think we lost the trail. I'll head back to Shatul.
Who are you? I don't need your help. All right, let's finish this so I can get back to the clan. Yazara asked for a snow truffle. This lazy beast can sniff it out. But it's a two-person job. I can't keep Scamper and hunt for a snow truffle. No clue. A potion, maybe? You scout ahead, find a truffle patch. Give a whistle. I'll send Scamper your way. Scamper will sniff the patch. If there's a snow truffle, he'll dig it up. You grab it and bring it to Yazara. Got it? Scamper is fast asleep. Give him a good kick to wake him. Near boulders or trees. Lots of them between here and Shatul. It's why they camp here in the winter. I lived in Orsinium for years. Sometimes I forget Shatul is home. Use your nose, Scamper. Nothing in this patch. I think he found one. Scamper earned some sleep. Let's get back to Shatul. I think he found one. Get that snow truffle to Yazara. And thanks. I won't forget your help.
Did you find Olgesh? Good. Give it here. Olgesh passed my test. Scamper has always required 2 people to wrangle. For Olgesh to send you back with the snow truffle tells me he learned to master his temper. Lorig and Olgesh are the only clear contenders for Chief. They must enter the Bloody Knoll and duel beneath the stern gaze of Malakath. The one who emerges shall be the new chief of Shatul. I have not forgotten what you did for us. On behalf of Shatul, I name you Bloodkin. You shall always have a place among us. I already sent Lorig to the Bloody Knoll. Could you inform Olgesh he is to fight? I would do so, but I must attend to my son. Olgesh should be at his tent. And thank you for the snow truffle, Bloodkin. Sometimes the smallest favors are hardest to repay. It was my son's favorite food. His hearthwife, she has dozens of recipes. He loved them all. He won't be able to taste it. His mind, you see, there's nothing left of him. But I'll mix it into the poison so he enjoys it one last time. The poison I shall feed the husk that remains of his body. No, it is me, murdering my own son. Shatul must survive. Before a new chief is chosen, the old chief must die. By the time Lorig and Olgesh reach the Bloody Knoll, the poison will finish its work. Malakath will take no offense. I doubt that. An orc of Shatul would truly understand. You are neither. Yet you are bloodkin to our clan, and your words give me the strength to do what must be done. Shatul must survive.
I should have been at my husband.
Over here. We need to talk. You looked different from inside Olgesh's helmet. What? What did you know? Yes, you're right. How did you know it was me? I see. You seem to know much about me, Snow Truffle. But not everything. A merchant friend keeps me informed of Shatul. When she brought word of my father's injuries, I had to return and contend for chief. Shatul must survive. As an exile, I'm not allowed to enter Shatul. But Ulgesh is no exile. I traded him a new set of armor for his old, then returned to my clan. My own grandmother couldn't tell the difference. The real Ulgesh has a squeak in his voice. One day, he paid Morkel's forge wife to make him sound like an ogre. He always wore the helmet everywhere he went. It still smells like sweaty breeches and onions. I cleaned it 3 times. Nothing worked. Have you been to Orsinium? The king hammers away at traditions which keep orcs locked in squalid strongholds. He tempers us, forges us into something new, something better. I will become chief of Shatul, and in a decade, it will become tradition. Some won't. They may challenge me, and I'll have to kill them. But when any other clan clucks about the Code of Malakath, Shatul will band together as we always do. We'll triple their rate on a charter, a built-in blood price for the disrespect. I think we'll get rich off the Malakath zealots. That will make the king happy. And if he asks me to be his chief wife, I'll decline. But I'll offer him the chance to be my king husband. Lorig is a fine warrior, better than my father. But that's the problem. He never challenged my father. He's like an Achater bull that refuses to mate no matter how much ginger pulp you feed him. I haven't thought about that in years. He was always Uncle Lorig to me. Taught me how to play chop. Always called me Little One, even when I was nearly his height. I looked up to him. Then Father insisted I become his hunt wife. Lorig's heart was never in the match, but refusing would have led to a feud. Father was insufferable. A chief's daughter must bear the clan's burdens. But children are a burden I don't ever plan to bear. Not for the clan, not for anyone. Now I head to the Bloody Knoll. There I will kill Lorig and become chief of Shatul. For this to work, my grandmother must know my intentions. Inform her, and I swear upon my mother's memory, I will repay the favor when I am chief. Gladly. Tell her the truth. I don't care if she approves. She will need to prepare the clan for my success. If Malakath disapproves, he can strike...
My son, Chief Ogzor is dead. Lorig waits at the Bloody Knoll. Is Ulgesh on his way? What? Ushruka was exiled from Shatul. I would never allow her to contend for chief. That foolish girl. We're a traditional clan. Shatul will never accept an exiled woman as chief. Had she become Lorig's hunt wife as my son wanted, Shatul would have stayed for the wedding. We would have been there when the Reach attacked Lorig's clan. Her selfishness led to their destruction. Take this ritual blade. It is flawed at its core, just like Lorig and Ushruka. Replace the blade of the weakest contender. Fair? I just watched my son die. None of this is fair. The flawed blade is a test. A weak contender who survives despite this setback deserves to become Chief of Shatul. When the blade fails, the weakest contender will most assuredly die. If she go, there is little time. Malakath favor the victor.
Ashruka? You have to go. If Ulgesh sees you, he'll kill you.
Ulgesh is in Orsinium. He sold me his honor before I came to Shatul.
No. What have you done?
Shatul must survive. Don't hold back, Lorig.
Malakath favor the victor.
Goodbye, Uncle Lorig.
You've returned. Who is the new chief of Shatul? I see. I convinced our clan that Ashruka's victory would test our faith in Malakath's favor. They'll accept her. For now. You alone emerged from the Bloody Knoll. Did you pray to Malakath for your victory?
I needed no prayers, only my strength.
Then go forth, my chief, and receive your clan. Shatul, I present your new chief.
Know this, my clan. A new era begins today. The era of the Orc. At King Kurog's side, we shall lead Tamriel to greatness! I know the cheers won't last. I'll need to guard against challengers from all sides, to be twice the chief my father was. But for now, this feels good. This feels right. Of course you do. I don't know if I can attend the moot myself. I should stay here until the clan gets used to the idea of me as chief.
Perhaps Ushruka is right about the changes in Orsinium.
You're the one who helped Scamper find the snow truffle.
I should have been at my husband's side.
Doesn't matter who's chief. If we aren't prepared for the spring thaw,
Winter on the range. It's almost poetic. It does, doesn't it? My great-grandfather chose the spot. Live on the land as long as I have.
This is not justice. So now we have a new chief. Everyone is ready to forget Chief... Urkael the Cleaver robbed me of my husband's mind. But Glagosh is to blame. She secretly worships Boethia, the Daedric prince of murder. I am no longer hearthwife of Shatul. My husband's life was stolen from me by his huntwife, my own clan sister. Try the Giants' camp where Chief Ogzor fell, or Lugbag. Ask what he heard the night before the attack. And search Glagosh's tent. Shatul travels with the Achater. We have no prisons, just the Code of Malakath. If you wrong another in the clan, you have two choices. Hey, I don't know, poison, ritual sacrifice, time when she slipped away from the clan. Anything that connects her to Boethia.
You're the one who helped Scamper find the snow truffle. Everyone, it's nothing. Well, Stubbs went missing that night. When I caught her out in the snow, I heard someone singing. It sounded like Glagosh.
I should have been at my husband's side. Oh? About what? That's my hunting blade. Chief Ogzor must have grabbed it on his way to the giant camp. Careful how you handle it. The blade has a paralyzing poison on the edge. His sword jangles. Lots of little buckles on the scabbard. But mine is quieter than a thief. I bet he didn't want to wake me the morning he was injured. Damned fool, trying to prove himself. Didn't want his hunt wife along to fight the giant. You rummaged through my tent? If you weren't Bloodkin, I could gut you for that. Not that my things are your business, but it's a book of battle poetry. I read them occasionally. It's what they preach in Orsinium, isn't it? Always wise to keep in touch with the king's politics. Better to know the old myths than sound like a bumpkin. We're a clan that travels the range. It gets boring at night. Sometimes we sing to keep up our spirits. No, that. I wasn't singing. I was chanting. I was out hunting when I nearly stumbled into a mammoth. They have poor night vision. If you chant the way the giants do, sometimes you can fool them into thinking you're not a threat. Well, I don't. What is the point of your questions? The poor girl is still young. She can't accept that our husband fell in fair combat. There is no conspiracy. Just a good man who fell before his time. Tell her that.
So, what did you find? What did she have to say for herself? I knew it. Her hands are red with my husband's blood. Well, I don't know why he would, but you're right. His own blade was still in the tent. That means nothing. She's still a Boethia cultist. I'm sure of it. What does Glagosh care about Orsinium politics? The book proves her guilt. What about Lugbag? He heard something the night before my husband was struck down. You see? A cultist chants to her Daedric prince, just like the stories. I bet she was cavorting in the moonlight. Perhaps she was chanting to ensorcel Urkhael the Cleaver. We've all seen her do that before. Of course she would say that. Followers of Boethia live only to deceive. It was Boethia worship, no matter what she says. Chief Ogzord deserves justice. Something must be done about Glagosh. This is enough evidence for me to demand the blood price from Glagosh. You're right. I was just so angry. If she had been there beside him, he'd still be alive. We'd still be a family. I'll speak with Glagosh. We both lost someone important to us.
Leave me to mourn my...
I know the cheers won't last.
I heard some Redguard woman turned her husband into a dog. Imagine that.